Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from the Bitcoin Bros. There has been so much news around Bitcoin here over the past couple of days. I'm going to be getting into all of it, strategy and everything else. Stay tuned for these updates. Like and subscribe. We have new content coming out every single day. Let's go ahead and jump into it here today. We can see strategy rated in the top market cap companies in the US is currently at 96. We're down 2 spots today. Strategy with around $104 billion market cap. Price is currently at $372. And if we look at the most actively traded stocks, the market just opened about an hour ago. You can see strategies up here at $872 million. Still in about the top 20 there. So good to see there's still a lot of volume for MSTR. And here are the key dates that you have to pay attention to for the strategy S&P inclusion countdown. So the end of Q2, I believe Bitcoin has to stay above 100,000 for them to have positive earnings, is on June 30th. So we're hoping that Bitcoin can perform through the second half of June. There's only 10 remaining trading days until that date. And then from punter Jeff, as you can see right here, he says that his thesis is that there will be material front running when MSTR qualifies after posting positive earnings. If you don't know who punter Jeff is, he's part of MicroStrategy True North. They've been following the MicroStrategy trade for quite a while, so shout out to them. But as you can see right here, the strategy Q2 earnings is on July 31st. So after that happens, there may be a huge front running of the S&P inclusion according to what Jeff is saying. So these are the key dates that you have to be watching out for over the next couple months to see if strategy gets included in the S&P. And if we look at a chart here of strategy versus M2, strategy has been very correlated to M2. As you've seen, Bitcoin has been very correlated to it as well. But if this chart is any indicator, you could see where strategy could be headed over the next couple months, potentially to above $1,000. Now, that's not financial advice. That's just looking at the M2 chart. That's something to be aware of there. So now we're going to get into some of the Bitcoin treasury strategy companies buying Bitcoin, companies raising money to buy Bitcoin. There's a lot. So I'm going to try to just get through all this, guys. I mean, it's hard to keep up with this. And keep in mind, most of this is just from the past 2 days. So let's go ahead and jump into it here. So if you didn't know, this is back on June 6th. Trump Media registers up to $12 billion in new securities to buy Bitcoin. They had an initial offering of around $2 billion. Now they're trying to raise $12 billion to buy BTC. That would be a huge Bitcoin buy, and that would make Trump Media one of the biggest Bitcoin holders in the world. So this is something to watch out for. And then you have MetaPlanet with their 555 million shares at around $5.4 billion, and they're going to be using that to buy additional Bitcoin. So that's just a massive amount of Bitcoin, around $17 billion from just MetaPlanet and Trump Media. That is a huge amount of Bitcoin that'd be taken off of the market. And then we have from AltBG, the blockchain group. They passed their $10 billion Bitcoin capital raising capacity. So they're looking to raise up to $10 billion in euros to buy Bitcoin. And then you have Anthony Pompliano. He's in talks to lead public firm. They're seeking $750 million to buy Bitcoin. So if you look at MetaPlanet, which is looking to raise around $5.4 billion, you have the blockchain group at $10 billion, you have Trump Media at $12 billion, and Pomp here at $750 million. That's not even including anything from the states in the US that are buying Bitcoin. That's not including strategy. That's not including other countries around the world that are buying Bitcoin or any of the other Bitcoin treasury strategy companies. But that's just a massive amount, between $16 and $20 billion of buying pressure into Bitcoin from just those four. Now let's go ahead and get into some of the companies that have been buying Bitcoin recently over the past 2 days. So you can see the smarter web company SWC on June 12th. They acquired 74 Bitcoin. They now hold 242 BTC with plans to buy more Bitcoin. You have Japan's Remix Point increases their Bitcoin hodl to 1,038. You have the H100 Group. They just bought another 10 Bitcoin, and they're looking to add more very soon. They've been acquiring Bitcoin at a rapid pace from H100 Group. And we just had an interview with Mr. Anderson on our channel. I highly recommend you guys go check that one out. The H100 Group is doing some pretty innovative things. They're acquiring a lot of Bitcoin very quickly, and they just started back in May. And K33, they purchased another 10 Bitcoin. That was just yesterday. KGO Group, they increased their Bitcoin treasury by 106 Bitcoin. They now hold 3,600 BTC. This is a Bitcoin miner. And then you have Bitmax. They acquired another 20.76 Bitcoin. This is a South Korean company. They now hold 251 BTC. And they're not going to be slowing down. They're not stopping. We are buying Bitcoin relentlessly. It is crazy to see all these companies doing this. You have Vinaz BTC. They add 16.9 Bitcoin to their treasury, plans to continue to grow their holdings. The company will also be rebranding to London BTC Company in the future. And then we have Japanese listed Gummy. They just bought another 80 BTC. Then you have Japanese fashion retail brand ANAP. They acquired another 50 Bitcoin. Mind you guys, this is all over the past 2 days. Like, this is June 12th here. This is not from like a week ago. This is all just like in the past 2 days. MooMoo's Bitcoin raises 32.5 million in a 2x oversubscribed offering to grow their Bitcoin treasury. They're down there in Brazil, so $32 million potentially coming into Bitcoin very soon. And then DDC BTC adds 38 Bitcoin to their corporate treasury strategy. They now hold 138 Bitcoin, and they're up 22% since May. And then the South Korean government drafts amendment to legalize Bitcoin ETFs. So understand everything I just showed you outside of Trump media and the MetaPlanet 555 plan has come out over the past 2 days. All those companies have been buying Bitcoin over the past 2 days. So there is a Bitcoin gold rush going on right now. And I think most average everyday people, unless you're in the Bitcoin space, understand what is happening. This is not sustainable. If we continue to have all these companies come in and buy Bitcoin and then their stock continues to perform well. I mean, if you look at any of these stocks, AltBG has been the best performing stock in Europe year to date. You look at MetaPlanet, they were the best performing stock last year. If you look at what Strategy has done over the past 4 years, Strategy has turned their company into a $100 billion company just by buying Bitcoin. This trend is going to continue, and we're going to see other companies pop up and do this same strategy. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this unfolds, but I think all the companies that you're seeing now that we're showing on the channel, not financial advice, I think all these companies right now are very early. You're going to see all these companies now being very early, having great returns over the next 4 years as we go into the next Bitcoin cycle. And I think those companies are going to be the ones that are late, the ones that are doing it at a $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 Bitcoin. But then they'll be even earlier than the companies that do it at 5 million. So none of that is financial advice, but all these companies that are doing this right now, I think they're going to perform very well. This is my opinion. You guys can put your thoughts in the comment section below. As long as they manage their risk. And from most companies, at least the ones that I have looked into, the blockchain group, H100, MetaPlanet, Strategy, when they're raising funds, they're normally doing convertible bonds, which have a 5-year conversion window. So even if Bitcoin trades down to $20,000, it doesn't matter until it hits that conversion date, which will be 5 years in the future. So, and then like with the blockchain group, they're doing Bitcoin denominated convertible bonds. So let's say Bitcoin traded down to $20,000 and it hit that conversion date. They just repay the creditors in the Bitcoin. But if it goes up, the investors who invested in that convertible bond, they'll just convert into shares. So it's like some of the stuff these companies are doing is very innovative, and Bitcoin is probably going to continue to go up, guys. It's not financial advice, but you can see the writing is on the wall. That's all I had for today's video. Aaron from the Bitcoin Bros. If you found any value, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more content. I'm out. See you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.